Hey everybody, this is Chris at Reptiles. Thank you for joining me again. Today I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Actually answer two questions I got from subscribers. How did I get the name Xenorc? So I'm a big fantasy buff guy. I like fantasy. So like Game of Thrones, The Witcher. I read a lot of those books. I used to play a lot of video games, board games with fantasy, and I have a thing for orcs. And I am a big guy. I'm a little big this way now, but I used to be just big, tall. And I'm 6'4", especially over here. That's a pretty good sized guy. So they always call me Orc. I also really into listening to calming music, I guess meditation kind of stuff to calm down. I like to just listen to music, and I used to take earphones to work and listen to calming music during my lunches and stuff. So they used to always call me Xenorc. That's kind of where I got that from. So it just kind of stuck. It's kind of one of those things that just stuck over time, and I didn't want to run from it. I just kind of accepted it, and that's why it's called Xenorc Reptiles. Anyways, today, guys, before we get started, if you guys could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Definitely hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Also, if you can hit that subscribe button, what that does for you, keeps you in the loop when new videos come out. Anyways, I'm going to talk about how many snakes do I need to start breeding rats. So I guess I can reword this question a little better. How many do I need to make it actually cost effective? So I've been sitting here crunching numbers all day, and I got it figured out for you. Anyways, when I first started out breeding rats, I had about 40 snakes, and it was actually, I figured out it was actually worth me doing. Now I breed rats and I actually sell them and make a profit from it. But if I wasn't trying to make a profit from it at all, how many snakes would it actually be worth breeding? First of all, let's go with a setup. The setup's going to cost you probably, each rat cost me about $175. And that is with the wood, with the lumber, the tubs, the wire mesh, the caster wheels, and also the bucket, the tubing I got from Reptile Basic, also the little nipples, the watering nipples, came to about $175 per rack. If you're first starting out, you probably need 2 racks. The reason why I say that is you need a breeding rack and a rack to keep your holdbacks, because you're gonna have holdbacks. You're not gonna feed them all off at once. When you first get going, you probably will, but down the road, you'll want to keep some back. Right there, you're at. So you want to get some probably large rats. When I first started out, there's a guy here in town that breeds them. I didn't know it. I went to Ellensburg, which is about a half-hour away, and I picked up 8 rats. That's how I started my whole collection. Actually, I got 10 rats, but all you need is 8 rats. You need 2 males and 6 females. The tubs, I'll actually show you. You can get those at Lowe's or Home Depot. They're just mortar mixing tubs. They're made for mixing up cement. That's what I use right now. Are they the best tubs? No. I actually have one rack that I made with some leftover Vision tubs I have. The Vision tubs work better, but if you're just starting out, I would just use cement tubs. They work pretty good. The only thing is, like on the front there, I always add a little bit of screen there because they will bite through that little, there's a little spot there, like with a little holder right there. So with the rats, with the tubs, with all the stuff to build the rack, also your first purchase of pine shavings and pellets and food, you're probably looking around for $480, $482, around there. That's your one-time setup fee. Now, if you say you have 20, say you have 20 snakes, that's what I'm gonna figure out, about 20 snakes. You can actually, I'll figure it out. I'll show you later on. You can actually save money with 10 snakes. It's not a lot of money. Is it worth it? Probably not, because of the work you have to do. But if I had 20 snakes and I'm starting from scratch, building a couple racks and starting out a colony, I'd go buy me 8 rats, get the tubs all made up, and buy the food, buy all the pellets and all the bedding, and I'm about in about $482. After that, you'll want to breed all these guys, let them go for a while. Keep all your females until you probably get about 7 colonies, because each rack holds about 6 colonies. That's what I find out by this magic number, is I have like 6 tubs on each rack. If you have about 20 snakes, I'd have about 7 colonies. That's 21 females, about 1 for 1 for snakes with Norwegian rats, or fancy rats, whatever you want to call them. So, but when you first get going, you take these 3 females. You can buy the larger females, but a lot of times when you buy them, they're pretty much worn out. They bred the crap out of them, and then they're selling them. Not picking on them, but that's what they're doing. They're just trying to get rid of their retired females. So I always buy like the large females when I first start out. I know it takes a little bit longer to get them going, but once they get going. So now you have these 2 colonies. They're breeding. You hold back the females. 2 males is more than enough. I'd say 2 to 3 males tops. But you grab these females, you move them down until you probably get 7 colonies. Then you can start feeding them off. So that's another downside. You probably, the first 3 to 4 months, you're probably not having very many rats to feed off. You might have some to none. You can feed off the males. You'll have males right away. Like when I first started out, kind of frustrating, because when my first clutch was like, I think it was like 10 males and 2 females. Then my next one was actually the opposite. It was like 10 females and a couple males. So it evened itself out. But when I was my first one I had, my first batch was that way, and I was kind of disappointed. So now, like, you're already about $500 in. And if you think about it this way, so you have 20 snakes, and say they're all adult snakes. Well, most adult ball pythons eat a medium-sized rat. If you go right now to Big Cheese, your rats, for like, say for 1 rat every week for 52 weeks, it's going to cost you about, figure it out. I'll figure it out exactly and put it right there. So in a perfect world, your snakes eat once a week, and you have 20 snakes that are feeding every week for 52 weeks a year. So you're looking at around $2,000 for your frozen rats. Now, that's only in a perfect world, because the reality is that you're going to be having different sizes. Most people don't have 20 adults, 40 adults only. They have different sizes. I have hatchlings on up to big adults. I do have quite a few big females because I'm a breeder. But say you're the average Joe, you have 20 snakes. The reality is most people wouldn't have 20 adult snakes. They're going to have a mismatch of different sizes. But see, you're already like about a quarter of the way in with the startup costs. And that's still not too bad, but you still gotta add in the food cost. You're probably gonna go through about 1 to 2 bags a month. Each bag of food, at least here, cost me a little over about close to $31 with tax. You're gonna probably need about 2. You might get away with 1.5, but I'm thinking probably you're gonna go through about 2 a month. Also, you're gonna probably go through about 2, maybe 2 to 3 things of pine or aspen, and you're gonna probably go through, I'd say, 3 bags of pine pellets a month. So you gotta add all that up to the cost. So here's the main question: is it actually worth breeding rats if you have 20 snakes? I would say most definitely. You're gonna see a big savings. And the cool thing about just breeding for 20 snakes is you really don't need an air filter. It wouldn't hurt to have one. I'd probably still recommend buying one, but I didn't have any smell problem until I got about 3 to 4 racks going. Because it's easy to change them if they get any kind of smell at all. You're not that much money to change them all the time. Because you technically going to have only, if you have 20 snakes and you have 7 racks going, it's not hard to change out those 7 racks plus whatever you have in the your holdback racks. It's really easy to change out 12 cages. I wish I only had to change out 12 a week. So it's definitely worth it if you're willing to do the work if you have 20 plus snakes. Now it can be you can still do okay with 10 snakes. Is the savings as great? Not as great. Is it worth it? Probably, because again, you only have to have 1 female per snake. That's the ratio that works out really well for me. It's funny, when I was first starting out, I couldn't find anybody had a ratio. Later on, when I started doing it, I figured out for myself, and I saw someone else have that on there. I wish I saw it sooner. It was kind of hidden on the internet, but the 1 rat to 1 snake ratio works very good. So here's the deal. You're definitely saving money. You are going to save money breeding your own rats, period. Now the question is it worth it to you? So financially, is it worth it? Yes. Is $900 a lot of money to you for all the trouble? It is for me because I breed snakes and I make money off of rats. The main thing I can say is that you always have rats on hand. That's wonderful. I never have to worry about ordering rats, because like before when I was ordering rats, I had a problem. Sometimes they'd be out of certain sizes and I'd go to different places and I'd have to mismatch here. So I had to pay a shipping charge here and a shipping charge here. That was frustrating. The place I liked the best was Lane Labs. They were more expensive. Big Cheese wasn't bad. There was another place, Rodent Pro, not bashing them, but had a lot of feces in the bags. I've gassed rats, and I know that they relieve themselves when they die. But I always clean it up before I put them in the bag. I mean, I understand they're a big business. I just don't like pulling out rat poop when I'm feeding my snakes. It's kind of gross to me. But that was a problem. So I know my animals are healthy. Now, do I think that Big Cheese and Lane Labs their animals are unhealthy? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they feed them. I hope that they're good people, and I hope that they're treating them well and they feed them well. But in my experience, the ones that I feed at my house actually do better. The snakes grow faster than feeding frozen. And one reason is because they eat a lot more with live than they do frozen. But even snakes that took frozen fine and I moved them to live, they actually grow faster, in my experience anyways. Another thing is I give all my animals vegetables, carrots, different things like that, and any vegetables that we don't eat or fruit that gets wilted, I give to them. So I know they get all kinds of vitamins and different things. When you're a big business and you have thousands of rats, it's kind of hard to do that. But when you do them yourself, you know that they're treated really well and they're healthy. But even if I didn't make money do it, I would still do it because I breed ball pythons and I like them to be healthy and get big so I can breed them. Not power feed them, but feed them weekly so they can get to breeding size. Now, if I had a bunch of pets, I don't know if I would do it because a pet I don't need to grow fast. If it takes 5 years or 6 years to grow, it don't matter because I'm not breeding it. But obviously, you want your snake to get to a bigger size so you can breed it as fast as possible without hurting the snake. Another great thing is that you don't have to have that filter. I mean, I still get one personally, but I vent all this stuff going because I have so many racks. But when I had like 2 to 3 racks, I never had a smell problem at all. I think breeding on rats is definitely a good thing if you have the time, if you have the startup cost and the patience. Like I said before, the first 4 months you're gonna get 0 to a few rats to feed off, because you're gonna keep most of your females back. If you really have the money, you can buy them all at once. But I thought it was a lot cheaper just to grow them up. And when I did this, I still had frozen, so I fed off my frozen and then started feeding off my live. Anyways, guys, if you have any more questions about this, feel free to comment below. I will definitely help you out. I know there's a lot of people that are really interested in rats and starting their own rat colony. In my experience, it's been a pleasurable one. I don't like cleaning rats. The pluses I get from it is definitely worth it. Otherwise, I still wouldn't be doing it. And if you can find someone actually to sell some to, you don't have to do it like I do, but you have some friends or like a pet shop that wants to buy some from you. That's winning right there, because I mean, you're recouping some of the cost. I know a lot of people that actually sell them to pet stores for store credit or things like that. That's pretty cool if you can get something like that going. Anyways, guys, if you wouldn't mind checking out some of my videos here, also subscribe, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the year's end. Hopefully by 6 months. That's my goal. I'm sticking to it. If I don't make it, oh well, but that's where I'm heading for. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.